A lone traveler stands at the precipice where the earth turns to ice, where the warmth of the world surrenders to the bitter breath of the unknown. The brass compass in his hand glows faintly, its needle trembling against the northern wind. Snow and sand swirl together in a ghostly dance, whispering secrets of those who never returned. The wind howls, a mournful dirge, carrying the scent of frostbitten bones and lost ambition. His boots sink into the shifting ground, one foot in the past, the other in oblivion. The sky above is a wounded expanse, bruised with violet and steel, where the sun's last light drowns in an ocean of storm clouds. He exhales, and his breath curls into the cold, a fleeting ghost that vanishes before it can speak. The road behind him is a fading memory, swallowed by the shifting dunes and the creeping frost. Ahead, the path is unwritten, carved only by the brave or the foolish. He does not know who he is, he only knows that the compass still points forward. The frozen throne of Kunlun. A tremor ripples through the frost-laden ground, so faint it could be mistaken for the breath of the wind. Yet the falcon knows. Its wings tilt, adjusting to the unseen shift, golden eyes narrowing as it circles once more. Below, the snow stirs, not with the restless whisper of drifting ice, but with purpose. Something ancient. Something waiting. The Kunlun peaks stand witness, their jagged spires wreathed in stormlight, their shadows deep and unmoving. Time does not touch them nor shield them from what slumbers beneath. The traveler, still and listening, feels it too, a presence, coiled in the marrow of the world, slow and patient as ice creeping through the stone. His fingers tighten around the compass, its needle shuddering not from the wind but from something else, something older than maps and stars. A hush falls over the land, the kind that comes before the breaking of a storm. Here sleeps the hunger that no blade can slay, no fire can burn, no god can tame. The traveler reads the inscription, the words half devoured by frost but still thrumming with a nameless dread. His breath tightens in his chest. The wind sighs through the ruins, weaving through the frozen dead like a grieving spectre. The silence is thick, pressing as if the land holds its breath. Beyond the archway, the ice is different, darker, laced with veins of something older than the mountain roots. It pulses faintly, like the heartbeat of a thing dreaming beneath the snow. The falcon cries out, a sharp, piercing warning that vanishes into the endless white. The traveler does not move, something is waking. Snowflakes swirl, hushed whispers of a world holding its breath. Ah Ming's grip tightens on his sword, and Zhang steadies beside him. The white-fanged warriors stand unmoving, bone-white masks like frozen deities. Their spears gleam, shadows cast long in the pale light. Mylin steps forward, the wind teasing strands of her raven hair. Her obsidian eyes are unreadable. Why do you seek Kunlun? Ah Ming meets her gaze, his breath turning to frost. For truth. For a reckoning long overdue. The wind howls. The warriors remain still. Kunlun waits. The cavern hums with an ancient pulse, the air thick with the weight of forgotten oaths. Shadows dance along the frostbitten walls, shifting with the serpent's slow, sinuous movement. The serpent's scales glisten, reflecting the cold fire of the shrine, and each iridescent plate is a fragment of untold history. Ah Ming exhales, his breath vanishing into the frozen air. His pulse slows. He kneels, fingertips grazing the ice, feeling the tremor beneath, a silent warning or an invitation. He lifts his gaze to the shrine's glow. The serpent watches, motionless, its challenge lingering like frost in the cavern's breathless hush. Ah Ming speaks. Through the howling abyss of the storm, a silhouette takes form, vast, unyielding, and ancient beyond memory. Ice and jade entwine in soaring spires, their surfaces glistening like celestial veins beneath the pale moonlight. Kunlun, the forgotten kingdom, rises from the endless white, its colossal walls untouched by time, its towering gates sealed in silent defiance of the ages. Snow dances in spectral waltzes, whispering lost legends into the wind, as if the mountains hum with the echoes of an empire long faded, yet never truly gone. The throne room of Kunlun is a vast cathedral of ice, where the breath of forgotten gods lingers in a spectral hush. Towering pillars, hewn from glacier older than time, rise like frozen spires, their facete surfaces catching the dim glow of ghostly lanterns. 1,000 fractured reflections dance upon the walls, flickering in the embrace of an unseen wind. At the heart of this frozen sanctum, bathed in the mournful radiance of eternal twilight, rests a colossal sarcophagus, its obsidian surface veiled in frost. Veins of silver pulse faintly beneath the ice, tracing stories of empires lost to the abyss of time. The air quivers with whispered lamentations, voices of the long-dead woven into the fabric of the cold. Here, beneath the weight of centuries, the throne lies empty. The silence is not a mere absence but a presence unto itself, a waiting, a yearning echoing something that was and might yet be again. Zhang's fingers tremble as he wipes away the veil of frost, each touch melting time itself. Beneath the crystalline haze, the face of King Yushu emerges, serene, untouched, a monarch lost between life and legend. His eyes remain closed, sealed in frozen slumber, as if dreaming of a kingdom that no longer breathes his name. The ice traps every detail, the furrow of his brow, the faint parting of his lips, the quiet sorrow lingering in the stillness of his features. Light fractures through the frost, casting shifting specters across his skin, ghosts of a past that refuses to thaw. Zhang exhales, his breath clouding against the surface. For a moment, he swears the ice breathes back. A whisper of frost unfurls in the silent hall, curling like breath from the lips of the dead. From the heart of the ice, King Yushu rises, his form sculpted from sorrow, his face a mournful mask of frost-kissed regret. His eyes, hollow as winter's void, gleam with the weight of 1,000 unspoken laments. His hand, a spectre of shattered promises, reaches into the frozen air, trembling with the echoes of lost time. His voice drifts like snowfall, soft, delicate, yet heavy with the burden of betrayal. The walls shudder with his lament, ice fracturing like the brittle bonds of loyalty undone. Beyond the throne, the wind howls, a dirge for the forgotten king. The shadows lean in to listen. The cold remembers. The crown still glows, untouched, unclaimed. Atop the frozen throne, the ice crown glows, a jagged diadem of frost and sorcery, pulsing with an eerie, spectral light. Its glow seeps into the frozen halls, casting shifting shadows that dance like restless phantoms upon the walls. Around it, whispering spirits coil and unfurl, their voices thin as wind through a shattered kingdom. They murmur of oaths broken, of power bought with blood and bound in ice. Their spectral hands reach, flickering, yearning, warning. The air is heavy with the weight of destiny, thick with the cold breath of kings long turned to memory. The crown waits, gleaming with cruel allure, knowing that all who dare to claim it must kneel before winter's curse. Through the towering gates of Kunlun, Lord Baixian rides, a phantom of winter, draped in flowing furs of white and silver. His presence is a quiet storm, a promise of power carved from ice and steel. The wind howls through the mountain pass, lifting the hem of his cloak like a ghost trailing behind him. Behind him, his warriors march in perfect cadence, their armor shimmering with an unnatural frost. Enchanted ice clings to their breastplates, catching the pale sunlight in a dazzling dance of blues and silvers. Their breath clouds the air, merging with the swirling snow as if the very storm marches alongside them. The ancient gates groan in welcome, or warning. Kunlun watches in silence, and the frozen heavens bear witness. Beneath the endless night, steel meets ice, ringing like shattered stars. Snow churns underfoot, stained with the dark sigils of war. Lord Baixian's warriors, wreathed in frost and fury, descend upon the last defenders of Kunlun, their enchanted blades splitting the air with the whisper of death. Swords crash, and the ice shatters. Jagged fissures spider across the battlefield, swallowing the fallen into the frozen abyss below. Shadows dance in the flickering light, twisting between clashing figures as if the mountain itself watches, waiting to reclaim its own. Above them, the aurora flares, silent, eternal, indifferent. It paints the heavens in ribbons of green and gold, a cruel contrast to the crimson staining the snow. Here, beneath the breath of the gods, history is carved in frost and blood. The frozen lake stretches between them, a vast mirror of fractured light and shadow. Beneath its glassy surface, their reflections stand locked in silent defiance, distorted by the shifting veins of ice. Ah Ming's breath hangs in the air, slow and steady, his sword glinting with the pale fire of the aurora above. Across from him, Lord Baixian looms in his silver furs, the weight of conquest in his stance, his blade a sliver of frozen moonlight. The wind hushes. The world narrows to this moment, a jewel of steel and fate, written in the cold. One step, a shift of weight. The ice groans as if it, too, fears the battle to come. Baixian moves like a storm-given form, his frozen lightning blade cleaving through the air, a streak of pale fire against the twilight. The clash is cataclysmic. Steel kisses steel and the heavens seem to tremble. A shockwave erupts from the impact, rippling through the frigid air, splintering the ice beneath them like a spider's web spun from ruin. Ah Ming slides back, boots skidding against the cracking surface, breath misting in the cold hush before the next strike. The world holds its breath. The battle has only just begun. Zhang's fingers tighten around the liar's coin, its worn edges biting into his palm like the weight of his indecision. The battlefield unfolds before him, Baixian and Ah Ming locked in a dance of steel and fury, the ice beneath them shattering with every strike. Yet Zhang stands frozen, his breath shallow, his heart a drum of doubt. The coin is cold, unnervingly so, as if steeped in the whispers of every falsehood it has ever sealed. His reflection wavers upon its tarnished surface, eyes dark with the burden of an unspoken truth. If he speaks, the tide of battle shifts. If he remains silent, the war within him rages on, the choice is his. And yet, in the stillness of his hesitation, it feels as though fate has already decided. The ice crown hums, a slow, rhythmic pulse, like the heartbeat of something ancient and waiting. It rests upon the throne of frost, wreathed in shimmering cold, its jagged edges catching the dim light like frozen fangs. The air around it is thick with the weight of forgotten oaths, of kings and traitors, of glories won and lost. Ah Ming stands at the threshold, breath shallow, his pulse thrumming in time with the crown's silent song. The whispers slither through the air, weaving through his thoughts like threads of silver mist. Claim us, they murmur, voices lead and ageless. Take your place. Rule as you were meant to. His fingers twitch at his side. Vast, untamed power presses against his chest, beckoning him forward. He can feel it, cold as winter's first breath, sharp as the moment before a blade strikes home. The weight of destiny settles upon his shoulders. One step. One choice, and the world will never be the same. Ah Ming's sword falls, striking the ice crown with the force of destiny. Shards of ice and jade explode outward, scattering like dying embers. A shockwave ripples through the throne room, then beyond, unstoppable, the frozen grip on Kunlun shatters. Ice melts in rushing streams, jagged spires crumble, and the land exhales its first breath in centuries. Golden sunlight pierces through the mist, bathing the mountains in warmth. Ah Ming stands amid the ruin, his blade still trembling. The whispers are gone. The crown is dust, Kunlun is free. The spirits of Kunlun lift their faces to the sky, their forms shimmering, weightless. As the first light of dawn spills over the mountains, they exhale in unison, a final breath, a farewell. One by one, they dissolve into drifting snowflakes, carried by the wind, vanishing into the endless sky. The mountains stand silent, bathed in gold. The past has passed. Kunlun belongs to the living once more. Ah Ming and Zhang stand atop Kunlun's highest peak, the wind crisp with the scent of new beginnings. Below them, rivers carve their paths through the thawing land, and the sky stretches vast and unbroken. In Ah Ming's palm, the brass compass hums, its needle trembling before turning west. A silent promise. A call to the unknown. Zhang exhales, eyes on the horizon. So, what now? Ah Ming closes his fingers around the compass, a slow smile forming. We follow where fate leads. The storm clouds part, and golden light spills across the land, chasing away the last shadows of winter. Amid the ruins of Kunlun, two figures ride west, cloaked in furs, their silhouettes stark against the dawn. Ah Ming's brass compass glints in the morning light, its needle steady. Zhang rides beside him, silent, the past fading behind them with every hoofbeat. The road ahead is endless, untamed. But as they vanish into the horizon, one truth remains: this is not the end. It is only the beginning.